Good morning. Big week in our devotional life. Two festivals coming up tomorrow and Wednesday, both Reformation Day and All Saints Day. Today, on this Monday, the 30th of October, we're invited to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and we're going to jump a little bit there as we're talking about the great commandment there. So be ready to make that leap from verse 9 to verse 20. But I'll meet you first at the beginning of chapter 6 of Deuteronomy there, the last book of our Pentateuch. And read along if you'd like, and then we'll share a devotion from Christ in our home and our partners in ministry at Augsburg Fortress. Now this is the commandment, the statutes, and the ordinances that the Lord your God charged me to teach you, to observe in the land that you are about to cross into and occupy, so that you and your children and your children's children may fear the Lord your God all the days of your life, and keep all his decrees and his commandments that I am commanding you, so that your days may be long. Hear, therefore, O Israel, and observe them diligently, so that it may go well with you, and so that you may multiply greatly in a land flowing with milk and honey, as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has promised you. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. Keep these words that I am commanding you today in your heart. Recite them to your children, and talk about them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you rise. Bind them as a sign on your hand, fix them as an emblem on your forehead, and write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Let's jump together now to verse 20. When your children ask you in time to come, what is the measuring of the decrees and the statutes and the ordinances that the Lord our God has commanded you? Then you shall say to your children, we were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, but the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. The Lord displayed before our eyes great and awesome signs and wonders against Egypt, against Pharaoh and all his household. He brought us out from there in order to bring us in, to give us the land that he promised on oath to our ancestors. Then the Lord commanded us to observe all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God for our lasting good, so as to keep us alive, as is now the case. If we diligently observe this entire commandment before the Lord our God, he has commanded us, we will be in the right. A note to self is the title of our devotion here from Christ in our home. It invites our focus to that fourth verse that we just read together. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord alone. On our day, we write on a mirror or the back of a hand rather than a gate. But the idea is the same, a reminder that we'll see again and again. Self-help advice suggests affirmations for our mirrors, reminding us of who we are or who we would like to be. I am confident, I am optimistic, I know my worth. This can be helpful, but there is a real contrast with what Israel is to write everywhere in sight. Israel isn't called to remember who they are, but who God is, the one who delivered them from slavery, the one who is the source of all good. Entering a land of milk and honey, they will find it easy to forget over time, to think they earned what they have and are masters of their own destiny. We know how this goes in our own lives, so written everywhere will be the reminder. I did not get myself here. This life is not mine, but God's. What good news this is, when I am not confident, optimistic, or sure of my own worth. God remains the one who saves. A prayer to pray together here from Christ in our home. When I'm overconfident and when I'm afraid, remind me, God, that you are the source of all good. Amen. And as this day unfolds before you, be invited to continue in prayer for peace in the Holy Land. I know this was put together well before the current conflict now. Ceasefire, peace in the Holy Land. God hold you as you pray and as you bear God's peace in your lives today.